Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to Transformers, the show. Tonight we've got an absolute blinder coming up for you. So we've got our top 5 Transformers alt modes, where their alt mode is better than their bot mode. It's so good it just blew Jamie away and off the camera. It was that powerful discussion. And the actual discussion for a little bit later on will be, I've forgotten it. It's, I know I've remembered. It's the toy that you missed out on when you were young. So it was that great grail that you never got, and that amazing Transformer or toy that you saw in the catalogs that you always wanted but you never got, and you missed out on it. And I've already seen some of the comments on the Pete You're Sure that you've done earlier. A lot of Ring Raider comments, which was interesting. But I saw some of Melishade's pickups were pretty amazing this week. We've got loads of news and all the other bits coming up as usual. So thanks for joining us tonight. Let's start off as always with the news. Don't touch that dial.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
You always sound like you're a bit German there, Paul, when you go introduce the news.
I know. I've done it in episode 20, which is 250 episodes ago, I think, and said the news, and I've never stopped doing it for over 5 years now.
Thank God Jamie's pointed it out
I
now.
might do a whole show once with a whole German accent for the whole show.
I just wonder if we should have a disclaimer for people who might have epilepsy just for watching behind you there as well.
Yeah, if you have epilepsy, probably bad because it's Transformers the movie. It's a great movie.
He's not even watching us. He's just watching that behind him. Right, we'll start off with some sad news from the Transformers universe, which was the passing of the artist David Schleinkofer, who did this iconic 1984 painting that was used on the back of the boxes for the original Transformers. His paintings also graced science fiction novels in the 70s and 80s, including Robotech and Battlestar Galactica books, amongst many other pieces of artwork that he produced. And yeah, there was quite an outpouring of sadness over his passing. There's the man himself. And lots of people commenting on that first piece of artwork, which, as we say, is quite iconic. But he did produce other art, and there's just a small selection here that Jamie was able to find for us.
I mean, that first one is just amazing. The amount of hours you'd spend just looking at that artwork.
Mm-hmm.
You could just get lost in it.
It was very good at firing the imagination, and when you needed to fill in the blanks for...
And Hasbro certainly got their trademark out of this because it's been used in books, it's been used in jigsaws, it's been used in other boxes, it's been everywhere, this artwork, yeah.
Jigsaws,
T-shirts.
Yeah, as you said. Anyway, very sad news. Shall we raise a glass, if you've got one?
I don't. I don't.
Just mime it, it'll be fine.
I haven't opened mine yet. I'm going to open it now. David.
There we go.
Cheers, mate.
Anyway, and I believe we always say to Lolo one. That's kind of become traditional now. Right, we move
he
on.
made our childhood.
He certainly helped to, which was awesome.
It starts getting old, doesn't it?
Oh God, let's not start down that road for Christ's sake. We're all doomed. Right, Blockies, because we never talk about them, and there's some Blockies news. So Devastator was on show at the 37th International Toys and Hobby Exhibition in China, and there you have some photos of the Blockies Devastator, so you can make some judgments for yourself as to whether you think you want to pick this up. I know there's a lot of Blockies fans out there who love to comment, so you'll really be enjoying this content right now.
It just looks like a really good Devastator, doesn't it? Like,
it really does, though. Proportionally, like the detail on it.
It just makes me want them to do all the combiners just like that. Just have a collection of those combiners.
I'd love them to do some of the other combiners if they can get to it. That can be my combined mode, and then I can keep my actual teams, the Transformer ones, in their teams rather than combined mode. Blockies, get on it, please. I did say please. And you come with it comes with an alternative face. Looks like he's just realised he's not going to make it back home for the toilet. He's certainly upset about something. And that's it, I think. Yeah, that's the one. We've all been there. Have we mentioned Vortex recently?
Not enough. He's starting to look a bit good.
Mark Lonas, he has shown photos of it, and we know his photos. Oh, all praise be to Mark. Sorry, Mark from Hasbro. We all know he makes his photos look fantastic for this, and it then makes you want to buy the bots that maybe you weren't sure about in the first place. This one looks very good, and reviews of it are up because it's already been out in Canada amongst other places.
Well, it's about time Canada had some good luck, isn't it? Because, you know, the weather.
Yeah, Canada. But that toy guy who got hold of this, even he was like saying, because he hadn't seen the first wave, but they've got this, and is this the second or the third wave? I can't remember. Anyway, it's how the world works nowadays. It's all messed up. Looks good, though.
Oh, it looks really good. Really good. Well, do you think it's got that kind of mixing of the paints? Like, I was editing the photos earlier. It's kind of got that swishing along where it's kind of like the grey is mixed with slightly darker bits. You sometimes see it on cheaper plastic. That's a bit difficult.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the old gold plastic. But I'm sure it's not like that, and everything will be fine. It's all fine. Everything will be fine. Silver plastic syndrome will not become a thing, or grey plastic syndrome in this case.
I just think it's one of those things with those mixtures now.
I've not heard of any issues with breakages and stuff, so I'm sure it's just us. Creating paranoia and panic.
I mean, that must be the mold they'll use for blades when they do the protector bots. Surely. So.
And Alpha Bravo when he comes along, because surely they'll do an Alpha Bravo. He was very popular.
Hopefully not. I'm against it, Andy. I'm just saying that now. No to Alpha Bravo. Yeah. I've started a campaign because Alpha Bravo made most Combiner Wars collectors' life a nightmare because he came in the Combiners box, didn't he? When we all wanted, you know, what was it? Not Sling. Why am I saying that? Slingshot. Slingshot. When we all wanted Slingshot, and we had Alpha Bravo, and we didn't want him. No, but yeah,
I didn't want Slingshot. He's an ass. Anyway, here you go. I'll take your point. When it was the Combiner Wars, it was an issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue this time. And there's the designs that you put up as well, just so you can see process.
So cool that he does this.
Oh, it is. It's really great. And he's a fan, and he loves it. And that's why we love him. He's great.
But I would love to see the Takara guys just talk about it as well. Obviously, a translator or something.
I was going to say, we might need subtitles, but yes. All right.
Yeah. Just go, don't know what you're saying, but you'll look good. Yeah.
You look like you mean it. And then that took us on to this. So it was one of the TFW 2005 board members called Noon who first kind of shared these stock images they'd found of the new NFL Transformers crossover collaboration. So the NFL is obviously American football. It is a massive sport and growing in popularity. I mean, I didn't see this coming. I don't remember hearing anything on the pipeline about this, but they've done these Transformers that turn into the helmets for certain teams. And they are going to be 5.5 inches tall, available as the Dallas Cowboys, which is the one you can see there. It's also available as the Green Bay Packers, for those who know their NFL. I can already hear people. I know Mick will be in there saying, "Where's the Minnesota Vikings?" Who doesn't love a purple helmet, Mick?
He said no Vikings helmet.
He does love a purple helmet, does our Mick? That's the thing. He wants that.
I'm just thinking they could do a scaled down Unicron, couldn't they?
A Unicron helmet.
Yeah, because circular, yeah. And they could do a Mad Balls crossover.
Pittsburgh Steelers, for those who are that way inclined. Oh, they all have names. Sorry, I should have said that as well. So the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys one is called Star Blitz. The Pittsburgh Steelers one, this one, is called Steel Smash. And the Green Bay Packers one is called Tundra Prime because, like, Green Bay is really cold and gets lots of snow and stuff.
And it's the worst alt mode ever, isn't it? Could you imagine it in the comic? They transform, they just sit there.
Yeah, I'm going to be a helmet that somebody can wear. The helmets on the bot modes do come off, and I downloaded some photos that I found online of what their faces look like underneath the little helmets, but the resolution was crap and they were too small, so I dumped them. I'm sure there'll be more photos of these to come as we go along. But yeah, I mean, if you're an NFL fan, it's a cool little thing that you can pick up as because people buy mini helmets and stuff like that to stick on a shelf. This would be a transforming one. It's just weird they've only done 3 of the teams, but I guess they're testing the waters. And if they sell well, maybe we'll get lots of them. And if they don't, we won't.
Maybe they'll start doing UK Football League 1 teams or even League 2, maybe Colchester or something.
Let's go National League. Let's get into it. Let's go National League North. Spennymoor. Anyway, good luck to Spennymoor on their way to Wembley. I can't remember if it's this weekend or next weekend, but good luck to them. There's the Kansas City Chiefs one. Sorry, never got to that one, did I? Did that one have a name? No, it doesn't say. Oh, KC59. Really? That's its name, KC59? All right, then.
Rolls off
I guess 1959 because that's when they were founded or something. But yeah, what a crap name. Anyway.
The worst exposition ever.
The 59. It's not quite as good. Quite hit the spot. Anyway, we'll move on. So, HasLab Omega Prime. Lots of people received their emails telling them that it is going to be on its way. Now, the Americans are getting theirs apparently in the next few days. So I have seen many American fans posting that they got their email saying it will be on its way. For us in Europe, though, it's going to be a little bit later because, you know.
You think we should take America back now?
We should, because things have gone to so we really should. They need sorting out. How dare we get things later than them? Anyway, there you go. US and Canada gets it late April. Asia late April. EU and the UK can apparently suck it because we get it early July. So for those of you who are waiting, you'll be getting it, but it'll be early July apparently. I wonder if that's true then. If you ordered from somewhere that wasn't Hasbro, could you order from this one from other places in the Hasbro Pulse like you could with the others?
Yes, you could definitely.
Maybe they'll get them earlier if that stock's coming from like Asia. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure somebody will tell us if they get it before.
I mean, to be quite honest, wasn't it like New Zealand or Australia got them like 2 months earlier than everyone?
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean they told hat for them. They've had them for a year. Right, we'll move on to the wonders of. Is this the? No, this is the AMK Pro ones, isn't it? So, Yolo Park. The AMK Transformers G1, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Starscream, and IDW Tarn. So these are re-releases of the ones they've released before. But these ones are basically, they have plastic parts instead of some of the die-cast bits. And so it's basically cheaper and simpler painting, not as many accessories and stuff. In fact, no extra accessories according to the write-up. So it's basically a cheaper and more accessible way to get those Yolo Park AMK figures. Anyway, let's have a look at this. Tarn will also be released under the AMK Pro line. That's the fancy one, and that's the that version will come with LED lights and more accessories later. So if you like the Tarn, if you like the Tarn and you think, oh, I wouldn't mind picking that up, you could wait for the Pro one, which will come with light-up eyes and probably chest.
Does look really good, doesn't it?
Extra bits and pieces. Really so yeah, it's an option. I don't think Yolo Park had said, at least not the time that I downloaded all this, that there was any information on details and prices, but I guess it's coming. It'll be on the way.
I don't want to be negative, but I think Bumblebee, they did not do it well there. I think the Bumblebee they ironically had for the smaller scale of Yolo Park figures fits better size-wise. And I think if they just kept that and maybe just updated it a bit more, I think it would have been brilliant. That Bumblebee is just too big and just feels out of place. Since Yolo Park is so aesthetically pleasing to this sort of cartoon.
Yeah. Well, it's an option. You can get the smaller one, like Jamie said, I suppose, if you feel that scale's better. Anyway, those will be coming at some point in the future, so keep an eye on your usual stockist for these things, and I'm sure they will pop up soon. And then we had this. So, Zuru do these mystery, whatever you call them, not mystery boxes because it comes in a plastic sphere. But anyway, these mystery things, see, you buy them, you don't know what figures you get inside, and they're doing Transformers ones. These are blind surprise capsules, is the technical name they're using, of Authentics design Transformers. There are 10 characters to collect, but I don't think we have photos of all 10, or do I? I don't know. Downloaded so much. But basically, you'll be able to get an Optimus Prime robot mode, Bumblebee robot mode, Megatron robot mode, Optimus Prime alt mode, Megatron alt mode, Soundwave alt mode, Bumblebee alt mode, Wheeljack alt mode, Golden Bumblebee alt mode, rare. That must be your rare one. And yeah, these are going up for pre-order. Oh, they're restricted from posting pre-orders apparently on websites until July the 15th. So if you do like the look of these and these look like something you want to pick up, little desky bot things that you might want.
I think Pete's face says, "Oh no."
Why?
I know
have a word.
Won't, there are people.
If you're thinking about getting them, have a word with yourself. Ask yourself why.
What's going on?
I mean, people visually impaired can still feel, can't they?
Careful now! Don't pick on the visually impaired.
No, they can still feel. They can touch, and they'll touch that, and they'll go, "Oh, this is bad."
I mean, they might. I don't like the fact Optimus Prime's smokestacks look like the packaging. But I mean,
he's a bit deflated, isn't he? He's a bit limp.
There's
he hasn't got that spark.
Like not right this moment now. He's probably reached that age. Anyway, there's the alt mode one. So they don't get the robot and the alt mode. They don't transform. You get either the alt mode or you get the robot mode. And they're all blind bagged, blind box, blind capsules. So I guess if you buy maybe the box, you get them all. I don't know. But
would you want them all?
Again, though, there are people who watch our show who would. So, for those people, you can get them bought. I mean, obviously, don't, but you could.
Yeah.
3-0 MDLX Red Alert. This looks rather nice. Retails for about $80, 8 inches tall. And it's the redeco, obviously, of the Sideswipe that we've previously had. This is available for pre-order from the 29th of April. That's April 2025 at 9 a.m. Hong Kong time at 3-0 store. I'm sure people will be selling it over here too. Planned for release by the 4th quarter of the year. For those of you who think of the year in quarters, like Pete.
I do.
I know, but that's because you're in like that business thing. It's terms. That's how I think of it. You're in quarters. Oh, why can I hear my own voice? The spirits are talking to me.
Capitalism.
Anyway, I think it looks really good, but that's because I prefer Red Alert Sideswipe anyway. I just think it looks nice and like more visually interesting. But the Sideswipe was really nice. Who did Bisto do a review of it? I'm sure he did.
Yeah, it's got the Sideswipe, isn't he?
I thought he did. Yeah, I remember watching him do a review, or I dreamt it, which I often dream of.
Lyrical.
Yeah.
Absolutely bloody loves it.
But and he likes the figure too, and that looks really nice. I would certainly consider picking that up were I to be at a convention or something where it was being sold. And you can do the thing.
Would you pick it up?
Gone crazy.
I'm not sure.
I like it. I wouldn't get the Starscream though. It's not just the feet, but the feet are an issue. They're a serious issue. I don't want to be harsh, but no.
And Starscream's doing a slight crotch thrust there as well.
They're all doing a crotch thrust in almost every single one because
we must be getting a Grimlock. They must be designing a Grimlock as we speak. Surely,
really nice.
With the ultimate crotch thrust figure.
What? In dinosaur mode. Dinosaur mode. Anyway, now this is going to take us on to this. So I already know what the reaction of most of us is going to be, but let's just get through this. So this is the new Transformers Wild King Wave 1 toy. So this is the Takara toy line that is aimed predominantly at children. However, again, just like the other stuff we looked at, the authentic bits, like people we know will want to collect this. So
I think these are good.
Oh my god, you praised it. I'm stunned.
Yeah.
But this is the new Energy Master Optimus Prime, Energy Master Megatron, Energy Beast. It just says Energy Beast. Energy Beast Hydrophant, Energy Beast Captain Volker, and Energy Beast Leafback. and they're basically combiners. That's basically what they are. They clip on, don't they?
I think it's wonderful innovation. I think it's great for children. I think it's a step forward.
I looked at some of these photos and thought they looked a bit crap and cheap, but then you see some of the photos in a minute where they're posing, and they actually don't look bad at all. They can strike a pose, which is more than some Transformers.
I think the light's quite strong, so it's taken away from the texture.
Photography tips there for whoever this was. Who was this? Alphas 2010 on Twitter. So yeah, if you're watching Alphas, thank you for the photos, but listen to the man. Optimus Prime, bit stumpy, but you can hook him onto a trailer. So options. There he is again. It can pose. Yes, it looks hollow as hell, but
Does it have ankle tilt? So it looks like it may be.
Can't tell from that one, but oh no, it doesn't look like it does because if it does, he's not using it in that photo. But these are more simple toys for kids, and they have that thing a bit like Energon. I mean, it even looks a bit like Energon Optimus Prime, the Power Links one that they had. And the guy's done some photos, or girl, I don't know, whoever it is, has done some photos comparing, so you kind of get it. So, that's it combined with all the beastie things. Wow. That's why it's got leaves on it.
Covering his modesty.
Yeah. I
doesn't
like
want
it.
to show his boobies.
And Takara, if you want someone to do Takara, if you want someone to do product shots, I would be happy to do it.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Oh, these look very good. Yes, I'd definitely take photos of them. Anyway, there's some comparison shots. There he is with Dino King when he's all... Yeah. And don't forget, one of them's a giraffe, Paul.
Nice.
There it is next to the Energon Power Links Prime, so you can kind of see the comparison. Leafy boobs. Interesting head sculpt. And then you can swap bits around. So they've swapped Megatron and Optimus Prime's legs, in case you haven't picked up on that straight away from the photo. And then that's what you look like if you transform it like that, which you can. I'm not saying you can't.
Can swap other body parts as well, like the arms and stuff. That'd be great.
Probably. But should you? No, probably not. Those little frames we saw at the start, you obviously put all the other body parts on. So the beige one is the giraffe one for Paul, just in case.
Cool.
And then you can just combine those little beastie things into whatever the hell that is, with a big giraffe head at the top there.
I'll be having a look at that later.
Well, up the cool innovation seems to be coming from Takara recently, isn't it? With the Masterpiece line, this line, obviously the Missing Link.
It's nice to see something new, though, isn't it? In a way, I mean, not for us, fair enough, but it's just nice to see something new for kids.
And Takara basically designed all the Hasbro stuff, which we get. So Takara's really been knocking out of the park.
And that was the end of the mainline news. And for some reason, the layout has gone weird.
You need to sort it out.
I don't like it.
I can't sleep at night. Right, third party news.
Battle Tank!
Battle this.
It's heavy metal crunchy time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a Transformer missile fire phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can metamorph use mega force, but Combat Optimus is still standing.
Oh.
Smooth. Right, we're into it. Dr. Wu. They have put up a pre-order for this. This is the Shattered Glass Warpath and Shattered Glass Scourge, which they're calling Purple Tank and Star Suitle. Star Suitle. However you want to say, I don't care. And yes, Warpath is 4.5 centimeters tall, and Scourge is a whopping 5.5 centimeters tall. So you may have to make extra room on your shelf for him. And pre-orders for these are up. I don't have pricing information because I have no interest in buying them and didn't look. But if you go and have a look on Showzy Store or anywhere where you get your Doctor Wu, like Primetime Toys or wherever, then I'm sure they would have pricing available for you. Moving on. This is Corden. I think I've said that right. Yeah. So this is New Age sharing their repaints. So two new color variants of their Sunstreaker for the Legend scale market. So this is Vice, which is their Diaclone inspired cordon deco with toy inspired head and a new light bar in alt mode. And it comes with a gun and an arm blaster, although I think that doesn't that go on his shoulder? I know it's his arm blaster, isn't it? It goes in his hand. And then there's another one coming up, which we'll get to in a moment. Anybody collecting these?
No, Corden I find really boring. Just then whenever he appears in anything, I say, oh, Corden's out again.
Switches straight.
No.
Corden. Is this because you hate the police?
I do like James Corden, though. And most people don't, so... How ironic
Bombshell.
is that? Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
I'm like
wrapped in a paradox. Here's Cole, which is their Diaclone inspired spin out, and with the same bits that the other one came with. So yeah, if you're a big fan of these characters or just this mold or just New Age because you collect everything New Age, like the Mark you are, then you will be in for these, I am sure.
No,
that's quite cool.
I like, you know what? When it's just on the white background ones, they don't impress me. Then they stick them in front of an actual background like you do for your photos, and you just go, "Ooh, actually. Yeah. God damn you! You got me again." We have seen some of this before, but apparently these are the first proper prototype versions of the MB32 Metalhawk. I was going to say Master Force then. This is like the first proper, like almost finished version. Cartoon accurate rendition of the Master Force Commander. Robot Alt mode, and of course because this is a Pretender based on a Pretender, but they're using parts to stick to the robot mode to make him into the Pretender. Thoughts on this? Is it better than nothing, or is it not good enough?
Yeah, because I suppose you still get the articulation, don't you? And it saves you having to have... Yeah, because how big would the Pretender show have to be?
Well, this is it.
Isn't it?
How would you get the articulation in it and get him to fit in it and fold away? I mean, it's not impossible, but it probably isn't easy. Maybe that's why the original ones were so simple, because they just had to have a robot turned into a block, basically.
I might get this.
This apparently will be released at the end of May or beginning of June, so quite soon. So this must be the final version.
Do you think this is what maybe Hasbro can look into? Instead of having a Pretender shell, have Pretender armor?
Maybe they could rip it off. I mean, they could certainly borrow the idea based on their own original IP. Why not?
Do you mind?
I'm just going to take this because I can. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. It's. I think it looks good for the Master Force version of the character when you saw it in the cartoon.
I genuinely think it looks exceptional, and I don't really know anything about Master Force, but this
wow.
You never watched Master Force?
You don't say that.
No.
Undercarriage. So there you go. See, it's a bot that turns into a plane, so you can't just get rid of all the bot parts, I'm afraid. For all those people who were moaning about the new aerial bots. Right, what else we got? More Doctor Wu, because we love Doctor Wu. And these are the next two of their Constructorcons, which is Cyber Crane and Cyber Dump. I had one of those just before coming on. Sorry, Cyber Dump Truck, I do apologize. Which is their War Within Hook and Long Haul. Yeah, there you go.
Master Force, the one with Charlie Dimmick.
That's a good one. I like that one.
That's Charlie.
Charlie would definitely have been watching if Charlie Dimmick was in. Right. Anyway, there it is. More bits of their version of the Devastator, because not enough Devastators going around, and we've all been saying there's just not enough of them.
Yeah, you're right, Andy.
They've already announced those. Exactly, more green and purple, because these are the colours. And then this. And I thought we'd seen something like this before, but anyway, there's a silhouette. Ooh, who could it be? It's Devastator. Anyway, then we will go on to this is the last. because this is relatively short news. Paul, you shared this, didn't you? This is the Loyal Subjects, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So they
showed us.
It's just cool. They're doing loads of stuff, aren't they, from the 80s? They've done a couple of bits. I think they're doing the mask, aren't they? The mask relaunch. They're not stupid expensive either. It's good to see them doing this as well. My Pet Monster, as I'm sure many of you can remember in the chat from back in the day.
Perhaps, Paul, you could explain to the younger members of the audience what My Pet Monster is.
My Pet Monster
Jamie?
bondage gear.
I knew you were going to do that.
That's where you have to lock them up because
because they're monsters.
I never had one as a kid, but I think you turn it inside out. It's
on your
fluffy,
bed.
cuddly toy. Is that right, or am I thinking of?
I don't remember turning them inside out. You might be right though, but I do remember they're coming with the what are we calling them? Chains? Anyway, with shackles. They came with the shackles. And you kept them in your dungeon.
And then you get them in your bed. Turned up inside out. God.
Would you like to come and look at my pet monster in my pleasure room?
Sorry, animation and that. Pet monsters
Werebears.
Oh,
sorry, werebears. Yeah,
werebears. They're the ones he turned inside out, weren't they? Well done.
I don't know what this is then. I should probably refrain from putting stuff in the chat, which I remember it from the 80s.
No, this was a thing. This is like the re-release.
It's a cartoon. It was a cartoon. I'm sure it was.
Oh, I don't remember the cartoon. It must have been crap.
Are you sure it was a cartoon and not something you watched on the internet, Pete?
No, just recently.
No, it's never sure.
Anyway, there's My Pet Monsters. They're coming back. For those of you who remember,
they use orange shackles.
Or if you just want a cheap pair of shackles. Anyway, there you go.
And you got incredibly small vest, but
that was the news.
Oh.
I had a VHS and Martha. TV movie of My Pet Monster. Cool. Oh, okay. He was watching Beast Wars, Jamie.
See?
Apparently there's a live action film too. 60% sure, Charlie thinks. That's it for the news. Yeah. We will find out by the course of the show. But before we do any of that shenanigans, let's do some pickups. What did we get this week?
We now return to the Transformers.
What did we get? What did you get? I got nothing. They only look a bit red because I was in the sun. So I've just come back from France. Had 10 days there. That was lovely. My son picked up the Bumblebee mask, which transforms. France is so expensive for fucking toys. £32. It just transforms into Bumblebee mask. It's quite cool. The legs come off quite easily. But that's probably my only pickup. I think I've done all my pickups. Although I had to pick up some. Oh, it's just here actually. The USS Stargazer, which is the second of the fan home re-releases. So just when you thought you was out and this company went bust, fan home are carrying them on basically with like the exact design and stuff. And I'm on to episode 2, so Lisa was over the moon about that. That'll be coming every month. But let us know in the comments what you got as well. Guys, you didn't get anything this month. Sorry, Paul, because of the bee.
Giraffe.
Giraffe.
The
giraffe. I'd gone red. No, it was too much time in the sun, which is a nice way to turn red. Andy, what did you get this week?
I got. Oh, I'll tell you what I got the other week, and I've forgotten to bring it upstairs. I got the animated Motormaster, the Legacy one that came out recently, and then was like slashed in price at Smith's. I picked one of them up because I just wanted to see what the mold was like, and I hit the QC poop hole because the QC on mine is not good. Bits popping off, bits that don't tab in properly, just a pain in the ass. But it looks good when you're standing on a shelf. It's the animated Optimus Prime.
Remolded.
So the animated Optimus Prime.
The legs, you hold it like that, and his legs just dangle. And
really the animated Optimus Prime apparently had quite a lot of QC issues. Not everybody did, but a lot of people did. I've seen reviewers talking about it. And the Motormaster was supposed to have fixed those problems. But as I say, I think I just was a bit unlucky with it. But he looks good on the shelf, and those colours are fantastic. And then what else? Oh, my daughter bought me I forgot what they're called now. Anyway, it's one of those blind bag things, those blind capsules like we saw before, but it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. that I'd never seen, and she likes them because they get little teddy bears in them. So of course, being a big Turtles fan, I was very excited. Thought, oh, I wonder which character I'm going to get. Donatello.
The worst.
No, I'm joking, because all turtles are valid at the end of the day. And he's got.
It's a Donatello.
Look at his face.
Oh.
No wonder he's so happy because he's not having to wave around a stick. Frigging stick. I mean, it's a stick. Anyway, there's Donatello. He's really cool and cute, and he now lives on my display shelves. What else? Oh yeah. Right. So I was not had a great couple of weeks. We lost a family member a couple of weeks ago, so not being in the best of moods. But the wife said to me, "Why don't you go to?" When I had some time back in the holidays, she said, "Why don't you go to that vintage toy shop that's not that far away? A place called Independent Toy Traders in Newton Aycliffe. Go and have a look." As they post on Facebook, they had more like new Transformers in. They don't often get Transformers in. They got every other toy. It's like the kind of place we visited when we were in we were off the Moss thing and all that. So I went and had a look, and they did have some really nice stuff. They had a boxed, very not perfect, obviously because of the age, but very good looking boxed complete G1 Jetfire. They had G1 Megatron. So the Jetfire was 275. Funnily enough, slightly out of my price range, at least at this time. The Megatron was 250. What else did they have? They had the G1 Seekers, but some of them were like there was a Starscream, and I was looking at that thing. Oh, nice. It's broken. So there you go. He was very honest though and showed off that it was broken. Anyway, I saw a couple of things that I thought they were very cheap. I'm going to pick them up. So the first thing I picked up was Windsweeper G1. Now, I have a G1 Windsweeper, but it's a beaten up piece of crap that I got for free when I went to buy it from Facebook Marketplace in Leeds about 13 years ago. And I drove up from where I lived to Headingley, and the guy was selling it for £5, and I got there, and he then, as soon as I got to the door, he's like, to be honest with you, it's a bit rubbish. It's a bit beaten up. No, it's fine. And then he finally brought it out, and it really was. God, it was a beaten up piece of crap. But because I'd come that far, I was like, "Oh, I'll take it." And he just looked at me and went, "You can have it for free." I can't believe I was going to charge £5 for it. And he was like, "I was like, no, you can have the money." And he went, "No, I'm not charging money for that." And to be fair, the one that it stands on a shelf, but it barely stands on the shelf. This has its original stickers. It's in good nick, and of course, the really important thing. The gun thing works, so they still flip out. He's got the stickers. You can see it there. And it was just like, I saw it and I thought, oh, well, I'll get that because I wanted a decent replacement for the one that I had. And then the other thing was just, I saw this and it wasn't complete. And even he was saying, oh, yeah, it just came with another lot. And it's an original Armada Prime with the trailer.
Oh,
now, it's not
awesome.
again not complete, but it's like, I've now got the Legacy version, and I didn't have an Armada Prime, and I've got Armada Megzus up there, so I can have that to stand next to him. I haven't put batteries in it to see if the sounds and everything is working. And the gimmick with this was when you press the button, was it when you press the button, or was it when you transform him? Either way, the trailer, when it's got batteries in, automatically transforms into whichever mode. So if I turn this into just his normal robot mode, the trailer turns into a battle station. And if I put this into the configuration so you can combine them, the trailer turns into the legs for the robot.
That's pretty cool.
So I need to get batteries and try it out. I haven't had time to do that yet this week, but I will. And also figure out how I get into it because I couldn't immediately see where the screws were. But yeah, that's all I got. But a very nice haul. And thank you once again to Emily for my Donatello.
That's a cute pickup from your daughter.
It was very nice, and she spent her own money on it as well, so that's even nicer. I suppose.
You trained her well. Trained her well.
Yeah, she does spot these things now. Say, oh look, Daddy, Transformers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Good girl. That's me.
Sonic said, "Be careful of the arms; they have gold plastic."
Oh, did they? Well, I'll
punish your sons. Did you punish your sons?
No, not yet, but there's time.
Lost learning opportunity.
Right, Jamie, what did you pick up this week?
Well, this week, I was kind of lucky. Well, not lucky, but the postman delivered. I got a vintage, the retro G.I. Joe figure of Rock and Roll. So that was quite good. And Human Transformers, because it's shared universe. And I also got this as well, which I'm looking forward to try out. The idea of this, it's like a little watchtower thing, and it can basically connect with other watchtowers. So if you buy multiple boxes, you can make a bigger and bigger camp. So it's like a cool sort of like start of a G.I. Joe diorama kind of thing. So I'm kind of keen and looking forward to testing that out. And this week, if you can share the photos, Paul.
Yes,
this
sir.
week, Cliff Jumper on Instagram and on Blue Sky and on Twitter, he's actually everywhere really. He was doing a Wreckers Day on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I posted all the sort of pictures which had something to do with the Wreckers, and one new updated picture. So I was posting some pictures to do with Wreckers, and there was lots of other photos which I think Pete might be showing some of these on socials. But this is like the updated photo of Carnivac, which is an awesome. I think Carnivac has got to be my favourite G1 Pretender, really, and perhaps one of my favourite Decepticon characters from the Marvel G1 comics UK. And that was my updated sort of photo there of Springer and Carnivac together. Because when I originally did dioramas, I had done a photo very similar to that. So it was good just to do a sort of updated version of that photo. And there it is there. So I had fun doing some nice photos of Springer. And it was a good sort of Wreckers Day, it's good when the community sort of kind of does that. And there was a lot of, you started to see it on Instagram, you had to go kind of looking for it, but it was cool. And I like when people try to do that. You've got Prime Week, 7 days of Prime, which is usually towards the end of the year. You've got Borders Dude, our very own John, who likes to do his Ultra Magnus thing, which is it 12 days of Ultra Magnus? It feels like 24 days because it's Christmas, so it seems to go on forever. But he does a really cool thing as well. And it's good to see people like that, trying to sort of drive things on in the community now and again. So thanks for letting me take part, even Cliff Jumper. And that is all my pickups, Paul. So thanks.
Lots of jumps. And how many G.I. Joe figures do you think you've got now in total?
I've got them all, and I've got and the worst thing is, the absolutely worst thing is, it's like for me personally, I've got them all, and I did troop building, so I used to have like 6 troops, and I went down to 4, and now I've gone down to 2 because it's just space. I'm just not very good at taking photos with them. I'm trying to get better and stuff, and that's where I get. I love Transformers, and I'm thinking, I love G.I. Joe, but I'm just not. I'm not a good toy figure photographer when it comes to action figures, and I'm trying to sort of learn and get better, and it's good fun because they're high quality figures for such a cheap price, especially when you think about Valverse, which was exceptionally expensive and not as hardy as these figures. So I think they're brilliant, and I think they're true to the comics, true to the cartoon. They're reimagined. The team behind it are brilliant. I think the quality control is exceptional, and there's been one figure which I think absolutely sucked, and that was Lieutenant Falcon, because his face looked like he'd been trapped in a room and set on fire, or it's like a Thunderbirds puppet. His face was melting. It was just a horrendous figure. And now you think about all the figures I've done, which must be hundreds and hundreds by now, to have one mess up, and they obviously fixed it. They brought out a new Lieutenant Falcon to fix it, because even they must have looked at that and went, that doesn't even look good in a dark room. Even if it was pitch black, you can still see that horrendous face. It just breaks the laws of physics. So, yeah.
Very Terry Waity. Right, Pete, what did you get this week, sir?
Just the one pickup from me today, this week, and it is Agent of Prime's Triptychon.
Nice.
This was spotted by someone in the community on the Australian retailer Pop Culture. Took a punt. It was a lot cheaper than Hasbro Pulse, and it rocked up this week. I missed out on Tripticon from Combiner Wars because I wasn't back really collecting then. This, I'm glad I got it. Obviously, not just
Have
because
you saved 80 quid on this?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is, well, it was more than a third. So it was like at 219. It was like 219. So saving 80 quid on 219, you know, it's quite substantial. It goes towards, you know, a chunk of the next wave, right? The colours in person pop so much more than they do on Hasbro Pulse. You know, where I've seen it, and other pictures online and stuff. Yeah, he's just gorgeous. Good, just gorgeous, and for a bargain price as well. He was genuinely exceptional. So, yeah, Tripticon was my
Nice
this week.
What a pickup there!
Just
And that's G-Dog, wasn't it? Have you transformed him yet? I know you've only just got him, but I haven't
really messed with him.
My favorite.
Yeah, I haven't really messed with him. It does make you, if they could just, if you know, Mark, Evan, if you're watching and listening, if we could have a Metroplex a similar size to Omega Supreme, that would scale quite nicely with Tripticon rather than the 6 foot one that they did before. That would be amazing. But no, that's my pickup. Really happy with him.
Nice.
Really
That's
happy.
great. Charlie said that you bought a Beast Wars figure, Gigastorm. It's really easy to confuse Gigastorm and Tripticon.
No better than to listen to Charlie.
We would never laugh at anyone for doing that. But yeah, no, that's amazing. Okay, right. Let's move on for a bit of foreplay.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want...
Foreplay tonight is our top 5 figures where we prefer the alt mode to the robot mode. Andy was saying before the show just how we've been speaking to a lot of collectors and how they've been saying they all display that. Well, I do as well. Many of us do display them all in their robot mode. But we were reaching out to have a think about which figures do great in their alt mode and better than their robot mode. Andy, I think it was your idea, wasn't it? Do you want to take us away and kick us off with this?
Sure. I'm gonna. Well, no, I'm not gonna cheat. Really, I'm gonna do one, but as a part of a wider thing, because mine is pretty much any movie bot, and I'm gonna use Incinerator as my example because it's just this is one of the best like aircraft modes of any Transformer I've ever owned. Just in terms of the fact it looks extremely realistic to the real thing. It's not exactly the same as the real thing because I think they would have got sued or something. But it looks a lot like what you saw on the screen in the movie. It's extremely clean, generally speaking. I mean, if you took away the bright blue and the purple bits, and it was just all grey, you could easily see this on a shelf and just think it's a model of the what's it called again? Osprey, I think it's called. But yeah, it's just a thing of beauty. And the robot mode, you see, I don't mind the robot mode, but the robot mode ends up with this entire tail section hanging off its back, and its hands are still the rotor blades. So as much as I love it, that takes away from it. And I think this is true of a lot of the movie bots, because like those of you who've ever owned Stockade, it's a lovely, lovely version of whatever they call it, an Escalade or something like that. The Sector 7 ones that we saw in the first movie. And then the bot mode looks, I actually still quite like the bot mode. It looks a bit like a gorilla. And if you remember the very first movie bots, there's Barricade and his police, whatever it is, Mustang, is it? I can't remember. It's still great now. But yeah, I just think the movie bots in particular kind of represent the element of fantastic alt mode. Bot mode, not so much. Most of them look like some kind of robotic insects. So yeah, I'm going to go with Incinerator from 2007. And as I say every time I show this toy, if anybody has the Takara version that's in all black but still with the blue, a bit like that Tripticon, Pete, then feel free to sell it to me for a very reasonable Rohan price, because that thing is very rare and very nice. Nobody ever contacts me.
I remember you buying it and you had it in box.
Yeah, well, no, that one's my original one. that I got in 2007 when the movie came out. I think it was 2007, might have been into 2008 because it was the all spark powered thing. Then a couple of years ago at TFN, you are right, Paul. I picked up a sealed boxed one that I'm very pleased about.
Toy food
up there, and yeah, 25 quid as well. Absolutely cheap as chips.
Nice. I bought the same one. Well, not box for a tenner. It was good. Melishay said, "Find yourself a black Takara. What you said?"
That's the one I want.
He said he's going to have a look now. So he's had a look. He's checked and he has got one. He doesn't want to sell it. So
I've got one.
I like the way he said he would check. Let me just check if I want to sell it. No, I don't. But that took a long time, Luke.
Good choice. And so many of those movie bots could they're exceptional alt modes, especially some of the cars when I think back to Hot Rod and stuff.
Yeah. Sideswipe.
Sideswipe. So many different molds as well. Right, Pete, who did you go for?
Can you share the screen, Paul, please?
Yeah, of course I can.
Hidden gem. I want to take our viewers back to a simpler time.
Joking.
No, genuinely, no. Strap in.
Go on then.
It's 1986. The toy line is flying. Okay, we've now seen the release of a cinematic masterpiece. Okay, we've got new designs and new characters. Some of them are annoying. Some of them are heroic. Okay, Wheelie fits into that category. You look at him and he seems quite cool. So they give the movie designs to our toy designers of the time. And we get this. And straight out of a movie, I'm not sure which movie. I think it was a horror movie. I don't even know what they were thinking. And, it was the 80s, right? Anything will do. I mean, look at what happened in the 90s with Beast Wars. The 80s laid that foundation that any dross would be welcomed by the toy collecting community. So with a robot mode like that, unless it turned into a pile of plastic, the alt mode is going to be absolutely exceptional. And to be fair, I mean, it was quite movie accurate. But it was all right.
It's even movie accurate.
I will give you the fact that the plastic,
been circumcised, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
The plastic for the windscreen is a different shade. I hear you, Andy. You make a really valid point.
Great.
However,
a circumcised car.
The remit of foreplay was find an alt mode that was much better than the robot mode. If you smashed it with a hammer, it's going to be better. So my pick would be G1 Wheelie, the robot we had, the robot we didn't want, the robot that will be with us as long as the internet survives.
Yeah, good choice.
You may have misunderstood the brief.
No, the old mode was better.
Do you think we need an intervention?
The old mode's supposed to be good, not just better.
Jamie, come on. What did you go for?
Well, my choice is a recent one, and it's got to be Slingshot. Slingshot. And the trouble I have with Slingshot is it's just those legs. It's just those legs are just huge, especially the back there. It's just like, he's wearing, I don't know, it's like he's got skis on or something like that. It's just horrendous. To me, it's sort of, it just, sometimes from a certain angle, looking another direction, but you don't see him, he looks okay. And then you turn your head and you see him, and I don't know. I mean, sometimes my brain's starting to filter out the clown type of feet he's got, and that sort of kibble all in his legs. So he's starting to appear slightly better. But I just think as a bot, when you compare him to Air Raid, who's just majestic, I just wish there was ways you could do it like those wings can maybe fold. That might have been cool, but I guess they're trying to be sort of true to the animation and the G1 aesthetic. But they've changed other things, so I wish they could have just did something with Air Raid there. But I mean, Slingshot there. But when you got him in his alt mode,
quickest transformation.
It's just beautiful. Well, I'm very quick, Andy. I'm very quick.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Thankfully, this show isn't live; it's pre-recorded.
Secret.
Yeah, but it's just beautiful, and it looks like he's just came out of the cartoon or the comic books, and even underneath, it's actually okay. It's not bad, and I think it's an excellent alt mode, and I think the alt mode and the simple transformation, because it's a wonderful, easy transformation as well, which it would have to be after the sort of the robot mode. It's a winner. I'm glad I've got this spot. I think the alt mode makes up for it. So that's my choice. It's definitely Slingshot there, which I think is an exceptional robot mode in comparison to its alt mode. I mean, robot mode. Exceptional alt mode.
The alt mode is people preview. It just needed double folding on the wing, didn't it? Would have been cool. Right, so I think a few people may have thought I'd go for this transformer, but I'll take the assignment. No, every fucking avenue of that transformation is a pile of pish. So I think a few people will go for a Marder. So I don't know if I ended up with two of these, but it's a Marder sideswipe. I think someone must have given it to me. That's a joke. Apologies if I've forgotten. So I've got this as Rohan, and in the box, I think I've still got the box upstairs. It looks so cool. So I'll have that. Send that to me, and it was a really good price. He sent it to me. What I didn't know is that looks great. Do you want to see what it transforms into? Wow! I'm a real robot, Daddy. He just looks. Oh, and his arms. Why are your arms so long? Sideswipe. But
you could go
this is.
Why are my arms so long? He says.
Giant chickens. But I thought this was a bit of a cheat because really it's almost really good, but it's not. It's kind of like what you said. He's only really winning because his robot mode is so pants. So I had to think about it, and I've done some transformations to transform this guy. I love a train, and I just think sometimes when you get a triple changer, you kind of sacrifice a bit in at least one of the modes. And one of the best ones triple changes I've seen is probably MechFans Toys with their Astra train. So I'll hold this up. And it's a great plane mode. It's a lovely robot mode, but it's just an absolutely beautiful train mode. So it's a legend scale figure. It's only like £20. It's a cheap guy, but loads of detail on it. And just to get my fat hands out of the way, a really beautiful train for a Legends figure. I really like the design. It's slightly different to what they've done before. Get closer to the camera. And yeah, I thought he was probably one of my favourite alt modes, which is better than a really good robot mode as well. It beats it on both. So that was my choice. That's it. We're all done now, aren't we? So yeah, if you haven't already, let us know in the comments what your one was. Whilst you have a think, I think it's time for Social Corner, isn't it, Peter?
Yes.
Good.
They were all excellent choices, by the way, apart from Pete's, which is just crap.
Fuck you, man.
I did have an honourable mention, technically wouldn't stand, which is of course the beatbox giraffe that Bisto got me, which is beautiful in its alt mode, beyond compare, absolutely stunning. But it turns into a box, so I don't think it really counts. It's probably cheat. So right, we're doing Social Corner, aren't we? So let's get
Social Corner.
I could do without Monday morning, stumbling out of bed and yawning. Didn't get home till 2:45. I could do with a D. I could do without the 9 to 5.
Cool. Really need to get a new intro, really, don't we? For Social Corner. Not this
Bring
week.
back the old one, Paul. Bring it back. Not the one that got those copyright strikes. Just yours. That one's still
definitely
haunting.
Could you share the pictures? Could you share the screen, please, mate?
Of course I can, mate.
Right. So we've got a bumper Social Corner this week, as we missed last week. First up, from Blue Sky August, their hashtag /Titan. If you are reading the Skybound comics, you will think that this looks familiar. I will not ruin any storylines, but if you're not reading the comics, get it read. And this picture will make perfect sense. But a fantastic customization. Chronicles of Cliff Jumper with a sublime Galvatron picture. Look at Magnus. He's just an embarrassment, isn't he? But anyway, let's not start on Magnus. He's an
John, are we after you?
What's more of an embarrassment, Magnus or people who like Magnus?
I mean, it's much of a muchness, Jamie. I don't like Wheelie. I followed the remit. I followed the remit. Right? All right. The alt mode was better than the full mode.
It had to be a good alt mode.
Could I just say, people who may have suggestions on Social Corner for some accounts we may not sometimes see, could you put them in the comments in the YouTube video underneath?
Yes, not
And
the
that
live
way we
chat,
could-
in the comments, so they're permanent. We can see them.
Yes. So put them in permanent comments, and anything to do with the show, actually, anything you liked or anything you suggest would be awesome, especially for some accounts that maybe we should follow, so I can follow them on Twitter, etc.
And I think that's probably fair to say is that we do our best to peruse the whole social interweb, but there will be some great pictures and some artwork.
You do
that we
get
miss.
funneled. You do get funneled down a certain route, and it's really hard to sometimes break that. You can be scrolling for like 5 minutes and still not come across other accounts.
Nothing but OnlyFans. So yeah, if there's any suggestions.
No. I mean, you could get rid of the OnlyFans accounts we follow, but I'm just against that, guys.
Let's not be prejudiced, Jamie. Let's not be prejudiced.
So yeah. Anyway, Chronicles of Cliff Jumper, fantastic picture highlighting what a pussy Ultra Magnus is. Sorry, John. Not sorry. From the reflective
I want to
files.
know what Gaming Dads UK was up to. Don't want to show the right things. Whoa. Scroll down.
So again, some.
That's why we crop the photos, Pete.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was me. Oh, honestly, if you haven't joined Gaming Dads UK, it's turned from talking about gaming to everyone talking about their wives, and they've got so strict about the wives can't join it. Like the securities, it's amazing. The stuff people post in there, it's brilliant.
Still, answers in the comments. What do you think Gaming Dads were talking about?
So someone, I'll find the link, but someone posted the other day saying, "Do you know we've gone 3 weeks now and no one's spoken about any games?" It's just been constant.
Did that person then get shouted down?
Yeah.
Keep posting the porn.
So G.I. Joe crossing over with Transformers, artwork by Chris Gelsey, hopefully I pronounced that right, Crisis27 on Instagram. So Rumble and Frenzy, as Rumble's blue, obviously. Cobra Chaos Agents, Soundwave, and the Ravage I thought was pretty cool. That was very cool. But yeah, you shouldn't keep a panther on a leash, obviously.
Just in case you were planning on it.
If you're watching the show and you're taking your panther for a walk, don't.
Knowing is half the battle.
This show is nothing but informative. Good one, a cup. That I'm both intrigued and terrified. I don't really know what to do with that picture, if I'm honest. But not because I've got anything against Springer. I quite like Springer. He's all right. I could have picked him for foreplay.
Oh, you mean actual foreplay, not for foreplay? Good.
Gyroscopic Jester, Needle Nose. But I don't know. There's just something about this photo that I just really love. I think the perspective's quite nice.
Brings you back to nature.
Yeah.
Whose gun is he?
It was just.
That's not his gun. Is that
no
status? Or is it Astro Trains or something? Sorry, that's just
It
the
just
kind of
sits it
thought-
for,
Just
sits
make
it
when
for,
I say
doesn't
stuff.
it?
Oh, it does. It really does. But that's why I'm interested. Hello. What's that?
Anyway, I shall have to make an angry comment because it's the rules of social media. Oh, well, what can you do?
Whose gun is it? Whose?
Tell me now. Link. Give him 2 minutes to reply, then ask again.
Why would he do this to himself? Anyway, right, carry on.
From X Milky Manta with some Omega Prime. Are they Omega Prime?
Yeah, he's got the
HasLab
new one.
Omega
He's got
Prime.
it in hand.
Yeah. Which I don't know.
He has
I
done
just
more
wonder-
photos as well on social
Oh.
media, so there are more photos that he's done.
Another
So-
account I have to block. Oh, well.
Straight on the list.
Another upcoming photographer, Plastic Crack. He's all right with a camera. Nemesis Prime.
He's all right with a camera.
Yeah,
he's all right.
he's okay for a novener, isn't he,
Yeah.
Geordie /
He's learning. He's novices.
Yeah. This one I saw today, I just thought it was quite cool. So I think that's probably it's Combiner Wars Devastator, isn't it? And
maybe.
which Fangery is that? Which
It's the little
Fangery is that?
Titans Return one where it was just the little head.
Ah,
That's the little, well, whatever werewolf,
Yeah.
winged werewolf thing. Yeah, it's that one. Is the short answer.
That was exceptional.
Nice.
yeah. We've shown a lot of Ryan stuff where he's recreating some of the kind of, it was the classics line, wasn't it? Really, that gold box stuff.
I think the Pretenders came on that though. Like
they?
the other bots did. Yeah, the gold box classics.
Hmm.
Whenever you see that stuff, it's
Yeah,
I just think it's brilliant. And he does,
Yeah.
obviously, all his photos. Yeah.
exceptional artist.
well done, Ryan.
The 13 Primes by Snowy Arts. Just, I mean, there's nothing I can say, is there? It's an exceptional piece of artwork. So many talented people in this fandom. We are very blessed. Tanzimus. This is the Studio Cell Unicron, I think. Well, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not HasLab. Vector Sigma, the one that came with Alpha Trion and
Oh, it's an Easter egg.
Olympics. Or an Easter egg. And then where Jamie mentioned earlier during his photos, the Wreckers Day, Chronicles of Cliff Jumper, obviously heavily involved with it, and some exceptional photos. I need an impactor. That's going to be a TFM purchase, I think.
What I like about the Records Day thing from Cliff Jumper was it's just basically getting everyone who likes taking photos of their toys and getting them involved. You know. Plus, it's a good filter to spot the GoBot fat, so we can't get rid of them. But yeah, it's brilliant. I like it.
No gatekeeping in this community.
The gates are shut. I
Love
love
that one.
that.
And that is Social Corner this week.
Cool. Well done, Pete. Let's do our discussion, which tonight is our sets or toys or Transformers that we most missed out and regretted not having as kids, infants, children, young adults. It's time for discussion.
We now return to the Transformers.
So, what set did you miss out on when you were young or growing up, which you regretted the most, or used to look at the catalogs and think, "Oh, I wish I had that." I used to spend ages to get some of the bits we're going to go through tonight, so I don't mind going first for this one, if that's all right. And there's a couple of honorable mentions, just small ones. So, this one we actually had, which was the Eternia play ship, which my brother had, but I was just so jealous that he got it for Christmas, I think it was. And he always used to let me play with it. It was such an amazing play set, and we were probably a little bit older because it was He-Man, the next version of He-Man, which came out, so we were a bit older. If you've not seen how big this set is, that if you look at one of those blue cylinders, It's about the size of your arm. It's an absolutely huge, massive. I'm not joking. I'm not even exaggerating. It's an absolute behemoth of a playset. It goes for loads of money nowadays. It all comes apart as well. You can build into this huge space station, which was like the size of you as a kid. It was easily as tall, and those blue things become a lift, which go up and down. But yeah, I just loved it. Always of my jealous of my brother, but we were cool. Me and my brother used to swap toys all the time. The other one, my honourable mention, which I never had, I had Castle Grayskull, but I never had Snake Mountain. And this was one of the ones that I used to spend ages in the catalogue just looking at it, imagining, trying to work out what bits went where, what all the mechanics were, and how they set up. And one of the things I used to love, and Jamie, you did so well in your toy photography, is like how they just set it up and make the whole scene look like a toy sort of universe with the characters in there. And He-Man, they were exceptional the way they've done that. And then my penultimate choice, I love trains, I love Lego, and I love spaceships. And this was a combination of all three of them. And my parents were really kind. They brought me loads of Lego space stuff during the 80s and the 90s. But this was the one I used to look in the catalogue, which I never, ever got. And it was the train set. We used to run around. And again, it was one of those ones you used to look at the catalogue. I could imagine putting in extra bits and building the base up and making it huge. But yeah, always wanted it. But the number one toy that I most regretted not getting as a kid, and always used to pine for this, was the Star Wars AT-AT. Because that was an absolute... my friend, well, my neighbour, Nathaniel, who's a bit older than me, probably about 6 years older than me, he had one. And I remember he lent it to us for like a week because he was going away on holiday or something. We got to play with it. And we played the living shit out of that machine. We had everything. And we probably had about 30 different spaceships, loads of the characters. We just never got the AT-AT. And it just held a special place in my heart when we were growing up in the 80s, and the first time you saw those stop motion images of the AT-AT coming over, just always, it made it look even more daunting and more scary than it actually was. And just the sheer size of it as well, as a plaything, and the fact that we almost got a taste of it, like we got to borrow it for a week. It's weird, you wouldn't normally get to do that with someone's prized toys, but he was a bit older and he was sort of moving on from things like Star Wars. But yeah, always wanted an AT-AT. I think my brother's got one now because we were both into Star Wars at the same time. And that is my probably ones that I wanted the most. Who would like to go next? Should we go to you, Pete?
I think the obvious one was Fort Max. I wish I had a Fort Max because I had Scorponok. But I think the toy line that I never really touched and I always wanted to, and you look in the Argos and the Index catalogue with want and desire, I think was the Turtles line. You know, they had the Technodrome and they had the Blimp and they had the Sewer playset and they had all these amazing characters and the cartoons on the telly, and I've got the comics, but I never got the toys. And this is not a woe is me. I was very fortunate. I had a lot of toys. However, I wanted those toys and I wasn't allowed those toys because I had plenty of toys. So I wanted those toys, but from that original Turtles line, and now they're re-releasing them, Playmates and that are releasing them now. I don't have the space because I've gone down too many separate rabbit holes, and I'd love to collect them now, but it's the original ones from then that I want. Because I think it was just going through the catalogues and going, oh, that must be amazing. Must be so good. So yeah, for me, it was a Turtles. And I've never moved on. I've never moved on. If I'm
I want to know why Jamie's pulling a face. Go on, Jamie, you can say it.
No.
Jamie, great choice, Pete. Jamie, wait, one last question, Pete. If they'd done a HasLab Technodrome, would you be in for it? £800. You could put your entire collection in there.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go, Emma.
Maddie can stay in a hotel when she comes to stay.
Jamie.
If you could share the screen there, Paul. If I could go back in time and get one sort of toy, apart from obviously Starcom, if I was rich back then, I would be Visionaries Dagger Assault. That would be the toy to get. I think when it comes to epic toys, there was always like Transformers. Obviously, there was Mask, yeah, but Mask was something I just, I had this sort of piranha bike thing, which was awesome. But again, Mask seemed to be sort of just out of reach for the young Jamie. But another thing which was pushed by sort of Marvel and I think Hasbro at the time, I'm not sure if it was actually Hasbro, was Visionaries, and I loved the cartoon. I loved the song. You could almost remember some of the quotes they did for the magic to get the staffs to make them work. And if you kind of forgot them, once you start watching the cartoon again, you'll start finding yourself, singing along or saying the words as well. It's just an exceptional series, which definitely deserved a sort of like a season 2 of toys and a series to be on board. And I hope something like Visionaries, even if it's reimagined, would come back, because I just think the whole concept is brilliant. It's a shame about the holograms being a bit being expensive, but I think I could live without them having holograms and just having exceptional artwork, which could have like if you're watching Hasbro, my idea is just to have a slider, so it just slides and to show what it could be. A little bit cheap, but I'm all about saving Hasbro money. But yes, Dagger Assault would be that toy. I'm only missing Dagger Assault to complete my current Visionary line. It's dropped in price. It used to be really expensive, about 650 and that, but they've gone down lower and lower. And sadly, a lot of the quality is not as great. So I might explain why they've gone down lower and lower in price. But yes, Dagger Assault is what I am looking for.
I like Dave's comments. If you want to say it, so you've missed out on Mellow Shade. That's wrong. It's true. God bless you, Lee.
I know about Mellow Shade getting that Dagger Assault. I do, and I could have taken that Dagger Assault. I could have told Mayline to drive me to that vintage toy store there right and then, because Mellow Shade made the classic mistake of posting it on social media that he's thinking about getting that, and it was like, no, wolves had moved in, and suddenly Mellow Shade was going, oh no, I shouldn't say where the store was, but lucky enough, I know where he kind of lives, so I started to work out the stores there, and I was like, Mayline, we can start driving, but I decided not to. Not to do it.
Wacky races of like 6 of you all leaving your house to your right.
It was so close.
Cannonball run.
It'd be more like the cannonball run. Jamie's sat in the back. Drive, Lee, drive.
I still look back to that and say, did I make a benevolent decision there, Jamie? I don't know. But when I go to heaven, I'll probably find out I made the right choice.
Oh, you're very
a few people mentioning the T-Rex from Dino Riders, which was a great choice.
Oh dear.
The Dino Riders. Yeah, that's another
T-Rex.
There's a
I
lot.
didn't have the Dagger Assault, but I had another ship from Visionaries. It was a similar design, but it was just a little bit smaller. It had 2 big huge holograms on them as well. It was cool, and it fitted other figures as well. I used to like that. Jamie, thanks for that. Ed, I do have the USS Enterprise 1701 refit A XL. It's just there next to the Reliant, which is pride of my Star Trek.
You should do a video on your collection of the Star. I almost said Star Wars. They freaking hell, Star Trek ships, and just do a video on it, just a little tour of them, and then just hashtag the hell out of it, because the Star Trek lot will love it.
I would love it. I'd watch my own video of that.
I mean, so would I.
All the nerds. Star Trek version of American Psycho.
I'm trying to figure out where that would go. As he's looking in the mirror as he looks at his own ships. Well, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's doing.
Mirror's like replaying the YouTube short all over the room.
Ed's got the name for what that's called. Paul's Star Trek Boner.
And a new series we'll put that one behind the paywall.
You
want to see Paul's boner? Anyway, Andy, pay for a Patreon for that. You guys have mentioned most of the toys and toy lines that I was gonna. it's really weird whenever we do these things because I always sit there and go, "Oh my god, I was the poor kid," because I didn't have half the toys that you lot all seem to have had when you were kids. But the Star Wars stuff was incredible. I've mentioned many times my mate Mark, who had like all the frigging sets and just was very blasé about it all. Half the time didn't even play with them because, you know, why would he? He's got 1,000 toys. So like those, especially the AT-AT. The AT-AT was one of those ones that was just up on a pedestal. My mate Nick, when I was a kid, who was the only kid I knew, had a G1 Shockwave, which his parents had got for him because he was in the army and they'd been stationed in Germany, and apparently that's where they bought it. And he had Jetfire as well, bastard. So all that kind of stuff. You see, mine are really boring because although there's other toy lines which you've all mentioned, so there's no point going over it. I'm going to go for one that's a Transformer because, you know, it's called Transformers the Show. So I thought somebody should mention a Transformer at some point. And I'm going to go not for Fortress Maximus like most people would think, but in fact, I'm going to go for this guy. Now, this was towards the end of my kind of primary school. Well, I would have just left primary school, I think, when this was released, and I was at that stupid age where I thought, I don't need that big Transformer that comes in an incredibly cool gold box and looks frigging awesome. Nah, and that was just one of the worst mistakes in my life. Because I do remember seeing it before one must have been Christmas, because whenever it was Christmas, my mum and dad would take us shopping to this particular one toy shop in Darlington, which is the nearest big town to us. I say big, and this one particular toy shop, I remember seeing it and just, oh, what's this? But I didn't know what it was because, like, you know, he wasn't in the comic books, he wasn't on the cartoons, at least not over here. So it was like, and wow, what a mistake! Because to get this guy now is a pain, especially to get him to complete. There's a guy who's been turning up at every Transformers convention I've been at recently, selling one of these, and it's $1,000 for a sealed boxed one.
Wow.
Now, there's some people that would say $1,000 is actually cheap compared to what some people would charge, but I'm not one of those people.
Agreed.
I spoke to Toy Fu about one they had once, and it was incomplete, and I think that was like $350 for an incomplete one. And he's just like, wow.
Mental, isn't it?
But yeah, I would love to go back in time and have that chance to say to me mum and dad, actually, I'll have that one. Yeah. You know, like Biff on Back to the Future 2, just evil planning, or 3, whichever one it is, they go into the future, and then into the past, and then back to. Oh, so confusing. But yeah, I just think I have actually messed around with a G1 Overlord before. It was incomplete, but I've messed around with it, and even then, it's a brick. It is a brick, but by God, what a brick of a toy it is! It's an amazing thing, and I would love to have one. The closest I've got is being very lucky and having the Takara LG Overlord from a few years back. I've got that, and it's lovely, but I would swap it all day long for a G1. Just look at him; he's massive, and just in case you're not aware or you've not seen this toy before, and you're thinking, well, how big is it? Well, that's it next to the combined mode of God Ginrai, which is the Power Master Optimus Prime combined with God Bomber. And yeah, he's dwarfing him because he's a big boy. Big boy. But yeah, I know you're in the comments, Mellowshade, telling me how you've got a boxed one. I don't need to hear that right now.
He said he's got the sealed prototype. Signed by actual Overlord.
He was a youngster just breaking through. Oh dear me. Yeah, I'd just love to get one. Hell, I'd love to get one even if it was incomplete. And I know it's a pain in the ass to put them to. I mean, the bits, like those shin guard bits you see, the teal coloured shin guard bits. I mean, I've seen them go for like 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds on eBay just for one alone. So, I mean, wow. Oh, it's such a...
But look at that colour, though. Oh, it's just the most 90s beautiful colour in the world.
Exactly, but it was that period where they just went, right, Decepticons, what colour should we make them? Let's go with teals, pinks, purples, blues. Yes, that's the way forward.
Best colours ever.
And then this, I do remember this artwork as well, and not really having the backstory. Just thinking, I thought he was massive because he turned into like a battle platform as well, didn't he? Which you can see on the left of the picture. So I just assumed he was a city bot, but he's not, is he? But
Young Andy big in the cartoon, though, isn't he? He's like up to like Star Saber size.
Yeah, but he's like fights. Yeah, exactly. That's like leader. You know, that's like him fighting Power Master Primal God. No, Ginrai, Kid God, whichever one it is. I always get confused between them from the Japanese continuity. But yeah, if I could go back, I can literally picture it now and see it on that frigging shelf in that toy shop and going, because I wanted a mountain bike or whatever the hell it was.
What would you do? Would you go back to your old self and go, you fool, you fool?
As an adult, grabbing poor child, what are you doing? You can get a bike anytime.
What
do you know how much that thing goes for?
What makes it so...
Anyway, sorry.
But what makes it so... I mean, apart from... I get that it's quite a cool toy from the time, but what makes it so valuable now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was widely released.
I don't see it. Yeah,
we only got it in Japan, and then you got the Takara version, which is basically the same. And then it was only released here in the EU and Australasia, so the America never got it. So a lot of the examples that existed, American collectors will have tried to snap up as many of them as they can, because they just didn't get it at the time. And then it's just not that widely released, I guess, or at least all the ones that were around. People lose the bits. There's loads of bits that come with it. If you saw on the photo before, oh no, not that. Where's the photo? There it is. There's lots of little bits that you can lose, and there's the two Power Masters, which are down the bottom right corner, whose names have completely escaped me for the moment. But like all these little bits that you can break or you can lose, and that's what people did. Because not everybody kept all their bits of their Transformers in their original boxes instead of chucking the damn things like I did.
Yeah.
I kept them in the boxes, didn't chuck the boxes. Everybody I know who's got one loves it. I've never met anybody who's gone, oh yeah, G1 Overlord, I've got one, it's a bit shit. It's fantastic. And having, as I say, handled one before, that was still incomplete, but just it's still so good. And it is of its age. If you want a toy with lots of articulation, go buy a modern version like the ones that we've had from MMC or Fans Hobby, I think it was, who did theirs. What was that called? Double Evil. You know, go get Double Evil is based off the toy, but it's like a modern version of it. But it's not the same. It just hasn't got that. I want those chunky brick vibes that this had. I probably will never own one, because the value of them is just so... It's like a G1 Fortress Maximus. Nobody said G1 Fortress Maximus as well, which is interesting. Nobody's mentioned it in this whole section. You know, that holy grail of all Transformers. Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You mentioned it just at the start.
Also, was it at the right time for us, like the G1 Fort Max? It wasn't. Did they push it massively? Like, you think like Snake Mountain?
They didn't sell it over here, did they?
Hugely, wasn't it, on TV and stuff? Whereas...
You could only buy get G1 Fortress Maximus from if you listen to the stories of the time. Triple Takeover talked about this on one of their episodes. There was a competition in Hamleys you could win one that they had on display, and many people have said they've never seen it on sale anywhere. Certainly not like mass retail. It just didn't come over here. So it goes into that bracket like Swoop, you know, the Dinobot Swoop. Shall we give it to the people in the EU? Nah, they don't want that, do they? Why would they want to complete the Dinobots? Hasbro, anyway.
Gareth said you can handle his Overlord anytime you want.
I look forward to it. Do I have to wear gloves? Anyway, that's a different issue. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, yeah, I'll go with G1 Overlord. Because nobody had mentioned the Transformer. All right. Apparently, Pete, you mentioned it briefly, but you know,
apparently, Pete.
I mean, you can watch it back and check if you want.
Yeah, Did you basically say the words? There's Fortress Maximus. That's not. You know, come on. We're a Transformers show, and we spent 95% of that talking about non-Transformers toys, which just kind of goes to show what an incredible plethora of toys. And did we talk about any toys from the 90s?
Yeah,
No, it
the
was more
He-Man
recent.
Eternia spaceship was from the 90s.
Oh, all right, I'll give you that one. Was that 90s? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the new
Did you
Eternia
phone in
cartoon.
at all?
Have you been watching the same show, Andy?
No, hang on. I knew he said about the
You watching
He-Man
Chat
thing,
with
but I
Rengo?
thought the new
It's live
Adventures
now.
of He-Man was earlier than that.
Mm.
I thought it was right at the back end of the 80s. I didn't realise it was in the 90s. That's my old man memory.
I don't know. Could have been. Could well have been.
You take a horse to water, and I don't know the rest.
That's because you're old. Your memory's gone.
Are you calling Andy a horse or what? Where are we going with this?
Well, it has been said.
There's
Anyway,
worse things to be called, isn't it? Than a horse.
You're right, Ed. Hamleys was for posh kids, and I never went there. I've only ever gone there as an adult because it was in London. Why would I go down there? Far too far away.
Bloody
We went
Yeah,
there
Jeff
for school
Fino,
trip.
it's not.
We went there. No, it was a school trip, scouts trip, and I had £5, and I bought a balloon. It's the only thing I could afford in all of Hamleys. Like one of those balloons you bounce, and it was broken, and we had to move on, so I couldn't even take it back for a refund. So, first and last time.
True story. I never went to anywhere in London other than Wembley Stadium until I was 43. That's the only place in London I ever visited.
Wow. I used to go to London a lot.
Well, the rich too, Jamie. Us working
No,
class people don't know.
I did it for sport. I used to do the Thames River race. I did
Hunting
river
people.
race.
Oh, right. Sorry, you mean when you were rowing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it for sports. Hunting man.
The Thames is famous for hunting.
Cockneys, the annual Cockney hunt.
Yeah. Until the
Come
Cockneys
down,
Run,
and
Cockney.
bag themselves a couple
No,
of
no,
Cockneys.
that happens up north, Paul. Remember that happens up north, and you need to keep your head down. I've told you about that.
Language and GZIP IV17R said cheap views on skiboo.com. Toy Slice
into
says
that.
he avoids London like the plague. Oh, I love London.
If only the plague had
Hamleys
avoided
was
it.
probably cheaper than most of the independent toy stores back in the day. Yeah, probably is. Melissa said either us or US.
It might be us. It might be US. Pays your money, takes your chance.
Simon said G.I. Joe had the flag to find and the Telodrome. There were some huge sets, but don't you find this weird?
Yeah.
Like, because Fortress Maximus, Overlord, the flag, all these sets I only found out about like 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. Like,
Did
when
they
the
sell
internet
the
came
USS
out, I looked
flag
on the
over
internet, I was
here?
like, what's this Overlord?
I
I
think
don't
so.
I don't remember ever seeing it.
It was huge.
Yeah.
I sometimes think toys are made for the general American household, the middle class American household. In the UK, we need bigger houses. We
Yeah.
need it.
Well, they had one at Rollout Roll Call a couple of years ago.
A bigger house.
Yes. And a USS flag. And it was
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
Was it?
Absolutely ridiculous. The foot
Imagine
cruiser.
taking that into your bathtub. You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't fit. It just wouldn't fit in the bathtub.
AKA
The
Big
water. Just sail on it.
We should do a different discussion for another day, but like things that they would bring back, like those sort of size. I know we would have Unicorn, but what else could they do?
If they did a massive cat slayer, I'd be well in for that.
I thought you said Pat Slater, but I just realised that.
You did a massive cat slater, I'd be in for that.
Life size.
Yeah, Pat Slater and her cat slayer. No, I'm not going to say. I was going to say because we've been discussing.
Thundercats. Ho. Anyway.
Right. Anything else before I turn us off?
You could never turn us off.
Yeah.
The stuff I could show you.
Is there any other
Challenge accepted.
Right.
Scatman Carruthers.
Is there any other toys that anybody's mentioned in the chat, I suppose? Or people should put these comments into the comments as well for the show, because it's not always easy to access them again back in the chat. So if you've got any good suggestions, stick them in the actual YouTube video comments, people. Life-size Pat Butcher. You're a man of discerning taste, Ed.
However, with the cat slayer, I haven't got space.
Well, for that and Pat Butcher, choices.
One's got to go.
Emma, you're moving in with your mum.
They do life-size TFUK-Con tickets if you're interested. I think I've got the banner here for it.
Yes. Come to TFUK-Con.
Oh no, that's our T-shirt. I haven't got the banner.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. This weekend is the cut-off for any merch that people want to purchase for collection at TFUK-Con. 100% of proceeds are going to Mary's Meals. A plethora of merchandise available, including T-shirts, mugs, apart from us, pens, notepads, and mankinis. Check out the Facebook group. Everything's available. If you want to collect it at TFUK-Con, please order it this weekend.
And tickets for the TFUK-Con can be bought at primetimetoys.com. £35 for the weekend, which includes the Friday night. If you come the Friday night, we'll be there. We're doing the show live from Birmingham. So please join us on the Friday night if you are coming. We would appreciate the support. Not that you don't support us anyway, because you're all bloody fantastic. But we just want to see you on the Friday night. And last time on the Friday night was really good. We had a really good laugh. There's about 40 of us there chatting. It was hot. It was summery. There's a beer garden. There's beer to take into the beer garden. It's a beautiful, beautiful night of Transformers love. Cool. Anything else, gentlemen, or are we ready to stop?
Can I just double check, Pete, being as you are our main go-between with our wonderful merch people, the black T-shirt, which you may see adorned across my body currently.
The rare one.
Is now, I believe, available. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that been confirmed?
Yes.
Because we were looking into it, I think.
They are available. They're £1,000 each. They come in small, medium, large, and very expensive.
And pre-worn.
Yes, they are. They are. Head over to the Facebook group. Drop us an email. The merchandise manager will be able to procure you a T-shirt in the black in a size you require.
She's now confirmed. It's a yes.
Woohoo! Thanks,
It's a yes.
I'd already said yes. Oh my God.
Now I feel more confident.
Now that the boss has told us. Don't bother going to the monkey. Let's go to the
I just get things off the top shelf. That's it.
Right. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's been great to see you all. Thanks for joining the show. Please head to Facebook, Transformers the Show on Facebook, and chat there. If you stay tuned, you'll see all the Instagram and Twitter and every single tag you could ever want to interact with us. But it's a good night from us, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye. Oh. We might have a really special guest next week. Let me just check. No, because I can't say just in case.
Wait for a really special guest is watching. Can you just text
confirmed? It's not confirmed yet, so I can't say. It might be next week. It might be a week, but it's confirmed for the near future. A very, very special guest, which I'm really excited about. We can't say anything.
It's time for Transformers, the show!